If you missed the NVIDIA run and regret it, then watch this video. I made over £100,000 in profit on NVIDIA stock, and the way I did it might just surprise you. So I first invested in NVIDIA in 2021, 4 years ago, and I've crossed over £100,000 in profit on one stock, which is absolutely insane. It feels nuts for me to even say that, but it is true, and here are the receipts. So let's cast our minds all the way back to 2021. We're deep into the pandemic. People are worrying, the world is panicking, and we're thinking that things are going into meltdown. Now, the stock market, as a result, is absolutely bottoming out and things are not looking great. However, in my personal life, I'm in the market to buy a used car. And then I'm realizing that, wait a minute, the price of used cars is going through the roof. Some of these cars are trading for double what they were trading for 2 years ago. And you're getting cars that are several years old. They're going for multiples of what they would be going for previously. And that was really scary. So I wanted to know why this was, and I wanted to get a bit more information as to why is everything going up and why are things happening. And that's when I did a quick Google search for why are used cars so expensive right now? And a whole bunch of things came up, but one of the things that I saw over and over again was the fact that semiconductors had a massive shortage and they couldn't make enough new cars because there wasn't enough chips to actually put in the cars. And something I didn't realize was these chips are in literally everything electronical that we have. They're in our phones, they're in our washing machines, they're in our dishwashers, they're in our cars. The chips were a large part of why there was a massive shortage in the car market and why used car prices were going through the roof. So now that I knew this information, I quickly Googled who is the biggest chip maker. I quickly came to the conclusion that NVIDIA is the best chip maker out there. And they are the best semiconductor company at the time, and arguably still today. So at the time, I already had a bunch of different stocks, and I understood how the stock market works. I understood that investing in companies does bring back good returns over the long term. So I wanted to do more investing, and I had cash on hand. The stock market was bottoming out, and bargains were everywhere. So what did I do? I invested £6,700 into NVIDIA stock. And I bought this inside my Hargreaves Lansdown Stocks and Shares ISA, which means that all of the money that I'm going to be talking about in this video is completely tax-free. So when I invested in NVIDIA all the way back in 2021, they were already a household name and they were already a blue chip stock. But I invested before the hype, I invested before the social media buzz, before every single stockbroker was talking about it, before the hedge funds got hold of it, before it went massively mainstream. I invested in it, little old me, all the way back in 2021. Now, the very first catalyst to NVIDIA's explosive growth was the Bitcoin mining era. This was an era where a lot of people were buying graphics cards, they were buying NVIDIA graphics cards, and they were using those graphics cards to build mining rigs. They were mining for Bitcoin because it was profitable, and that was the reason why the stock was going through the roof, because NVIDIA simply couldn't make enough graphics cards for people that wanted to use them to build Bitcoin mining rigs. And the resale value on these cards was crazy. People were getting them for retail and sometimes selling them for up to double what they had paid for them. So there was a massive market for this, and NVIDIA was benefiting hugely from the fact that a lot of people were buying these cards. But the major catalyst, and the one that everyone knows NVIDIA for nowadays, was the AI push. So unbeknownst to me and many other NVIDIA investors, and unbeknownst to the world, NVIDIA was investing heavily into AI, and they were becoming the number one business, the number one company for AI. Their chips were supporting the AI wave. They were producing chips for companies like Google, like Meta. Everyone and anyone that was doing anything AI based was buying their chips from NVIDIA, and NVIDIA was supporting the entire industry. Now, we all know how much money is being poured into the AI space. So AI is the massive buzzword right now, and companies are pouring billions and trillions of dollars into the AI space, of which huge companies like NVIDIA are benefiting massively from. So as soon as it came out that NVIDIA was supporting all of this AI growth, the stock just went into the stratosphere. Don't forget, NVIDIA as a company is involved in all of the major AI happenings right now. So data centers, gaming dominance, and autonomous driving are all areas in which NVIDIA is heavily involved in. And these are where companies are spending billions and billions and trillions of dollars. So NVIDIA was right at the center of what I would call a perfect storm, literally in the middle of the biggest investments the world has ever seen into the space that we now know as artificial intelligence. And NVIDIA was supplying everyone. And that is why the stock went absolutely bonkers. And I can't lie to you guys, even I was completely amazed that the stock could do this. At one point I was 10x up. Now I'm around 13x up, but just seeing that it was able to do that in such a short amount of time, literally between 2021 and 2025, was absolutely bonkers. And to see it grow every day, just smash through analyst expectations, then the stock split came and it just continued to go up more and more. A lot of people thought it had reached its all-time highs, and it just smashed through the barriers and just continues to grow and grow and grow. So in 2022, I made another move that was going to prove absolutely genius, and that was buying more NVIDIA stock inside my SIP, and that was £10,000. I used that £10,000 to buy NVIDIA stock, and I put all of it into NVIDIA. I didn't segregate it. I didn't buy some of this stock, some of that stock. I literally put everything into NVIDIA. So that entire £10,000 went into NVIDIA, and it proved to be one of the best things I've done alongside the original 2021 purchase. So I bought £10,000 worth of NVIDIA just before the stock split. A lot of people told me not to do it. A lot of people told me that NVIDIA was at all-time highs and it's not going to go up anymore. However, it's a good thing that I don't listen to other people and I have my own mind. I invested, and yeah, everyone knows what happened to NVIDIA. That bolstered my holdings, that bolstered my earnings, which was incredible. Now I want to introduce a concept that I believe has helped me make so much money when it comes to my NVIDIA stock, and that is CSS, or can't sell syndrome. I joke around that I have CSS syndrome, which means I can't sell any stocks that I buy and I'm forced to hold on for the long term. But it's not that far from the truth, because I very rarely sell stocks, and any stocks that I have sold, historically, I've actually lost money on because the stocks have continued to go up over and above the price that I sold them at. So now I say I have CSS, or can't sell syndrome, but in reality, holding NVIDIA for the long term has been monumental in making me a lot of money. And I wouldn't be able to make the money that I've made in NVIDIA if I hadn't held it for as long as I've held it for. And I'm not planning to sell NVIDIA anytime soon either, so I'll continue to hold it, but I strongly believe in letting your winners run. A lot of people would have had NVIDIA all the way back in 2021 or even before I had originally invested in them, but they sold them out at 100% gain or 150% gain or a 200% gain, which by no means is shabby, right? That's an amazing gain. But to get the 1,000% gains, to get the 1,300% gains, you have to hold your winners for a long time, and you have to embody the character of a long-term investor. And a lot of people ask me, why did you hold it for so long? Why didn't you sell it? And the answer to that, the honest truth, is I didn't know NVIDIA was going to keep going up. But I will only ever sell a stock if a couple of things happen. Number one is that my conviction and my sentiment on the company changes. I will never sell a stock if I still believe in the company, if I still have conviction. And the litmus test for me when it comes to whether or not I should sell a company is looking at the company as if I didn't have a single share in it. So looking at NVIDIA today, if I didn't have a single share in it, would it be something that I invest in, or would it be something that I avoid? So I wouldn't sell a stock that I would invest in today if I didn't have a single share in it. And that holds true for NVIDIA, and that's the reason why I'm not going to be selling it anytime soon. So when it comes to the stock market, emotional control is super, super important, and it's nowhere as apparent as it has been with my experience with my NVIDIA stock. Now, there's been times where NVIDIA stock has absolutely tanked. NVIDIA dropped all the way to $87. Now, I could have panic sold it. I was still massively in profit, having bought NVIDIA for a stock split adjusted price of around $11 to $12. But nowadays, NVIDIA is trading at $181. Imagine if I sold it at $87 all the way back in April of this year. I would have lost out on so much money. So having emotional control and understanding that if you have conviction in a stock, you have to stick to your gut is how I'm able to ride out the highs and the lows. And I strongly believe you shouldn't be investing in any stock if you do not have conviction in it. It's one of the main things that I push for. It's one of the main things I advocate for. I always do my own due diligence and I make my own judgment. Now, here's the hard truth. A lot of you watching this video won't have invested in a company like NVIDIA back in 2021. Now, that could be through your own ignorance, or it could just be the fact that you didn't believe in the company and didn't see the vision. Absolutely anyone can invest in any stock. And NVIDIA is not going to be the only stock to go up 1,000% or 1,300%, depending on when you got into it. But there's going to be other stocks out there, and there have been other stocks out there that have gone up massively. A good example of that is AST Space Mobile, which I got into at $10.86. Another example is Rocket Lab, which I got into at $5.96. So there's going to be multiple stocks that come out that are going to be trading below fair value and are going to exponentially grow over time. You just have to make sure that you're aware of them, and you have to make sure that you keep your ear to the ground. And one of the main ways I do due diligence is literally using my head. So follow the logic, follow the money, and follow the demand. I saw that there was a big problem that NVIDIA was solving through the chips that they were making, and that led to me investing in them. These are solid companies I saw the vision in and I invested in early on, which has allowed me to exponentially grow my money. Now, if you learn how to do due diligence and you learn how to use logic and you keep your ear to the ground, you too can find these opportunities relatively early on. So now for the $1 million question, would I personally buy NVIDIA today in 2025? And the answer is yes. I have a long-term price target on NVIDIA of $250, and I don't think we're far off from achieving that price target. So I strongly believe in the company. I don't think they're in their final form yet, and I still think there is massive growth to be had. A lot of people are calling for the AI bubble, the fact that the bubble's going to burst. But look, I just don't think there is a AI bubble. I think AI is delivering on what it says it's going to do, and I think AI is only just getting started. So I think NVIDIA's got much more room to grow. Yes, there will be challenges ahead, and it's not going to be smooth sailing. And there are other competitors that are coming on strong and will be encroaching on NVIDIA's market share. However, I still think they will continue to dominate. Now, a lot of personal finance and investing channels out there will advocate for diversification. They normally talk about ETFs or exchange traded funds, and say that you should invest your money in an index. Now, this is the complete opposite of how I have made my money in the stock market and how I've been able to invest aggressively into individual stocks. I don't believe in diversification, and I believe you need to go deep into individual stocks to make aggressive wealth in the stock market. And ETFs are great if you want to get rich by the time you're 60, but if you want to get there any quicker, you're going to have to take a little bit more risk and invest in individual stocks. Now, that's my personal belief. That is not financial advice, and that is not what I'm telling you to do. But that's what's worked for me, and that is what I will continue to do when it comes to investing. And my example of NVIDIA is just further testament to me that I'm on the right path when it comes to my investing journey. So that's how I've been able to make £100,000 in profit on one stock, and that one stock being NVIDIA. So long-term investing is my mantra, is what I live by. 90% of stocks that I've sold have gone on to increase even further after I've sold them, so I absolutely hate selling anything now. And I will continue to do this. This is what I believe in. If you want to see more information on how I navigate the stock market, then subscribe to my newsletter. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching.